All right, I am here up in the media room with John Cooper from the band Skillet. How's it going?
Very good. How you
Is
doing?
this your first time at Comic Con?
It's my first time, man. I've always, like, years. I've been like, I'm going to Comic Con this year, and then I look at the schedule. And I'm like, oh, I'm just too busy, too many shows. But I'm here now, and it's totally cool.
So, what was the first? Before we get into your comic, do you remember the first comic that you read that kind of got you hooked on the medium, or?
You know, when I first got into comics, I was a kid. I was into the heroes before I was into comics, right? So it was the 70s, and in the 70s, they had these great, they called Mego.
Mego.
Yes, yeah, they were like this. They were like
Yeah.
12 inches. I still have them, by the way.
Lucky.
I love those characters, Spider-Man, and they had the cloth. So I had those as a kid, and then the first comic I would have read would have been Spider-Man, but I wouldn't know what issue it was. It was just me looking at the pictures
Yeah.
as a 4-year-old, basically. And then from there, I had an older brother that was into comics. He was into comics like it was a religion, right? And so, every week he'd be at the drugstore buying the new comics, and I'd look at him as a kid. And when I really got into reading comics was probably more around when The Dark Knight Returns
Okay.
graphic novel came out, the Frank Miller book. That's probably when I got into it.
And you're obviously a musician. So,
Yeah.
but what made you say, "Hey, I want to do my own comic book"?
Yeah. I think probably some of what it was. So my band Skillet, we've been around for a long time. About 5 years into it, I started tour. We were touring with a lot of other bands, and I started noticing. This is going to sound maybe dumb to some people, but sometimes when you're a band, you don't know what is unique about you.
Right.
And I started noticing, oh, my band is unique in that each individual is a little bit of our own character. Some bands have like a group vibe, but some bands, like Kiss,
Yeah.
was their own little things. That's how I was introduced to Kiss as a kid from comics.
Right.
So I was like, I wonder if we should do our own comic book because we're all like characters. And I always put it on the back burner because I was afraid I'd do a really cheesy comic book about me running around in a cape or something. So when the idea came about doing a graphic novel, I was like, I love the idea. I don't want us to be superheroes. I want us to be science fiction. Can we do something kind of serious and have some good themes, things that I believe in my life that could be put into a science fiction supernatural realm, and that could be really cool. So that's how it started.
And so the graphic novel is Eden.
Woo! That's
So-
me right there. That's me with the eyes.
So tell us a little bit about the graphic novel, the story, the background.
Sure, I'd love to. I mean, Eden, it's science fiction. That's what I would call it. It's a little bit post-apocalyptic, a little bit dystopian. But the idea is this, that the Earth is dying. And there's these groups of people that begin to have the same dream. That is, they're dreaming of a door that leads to a paradise. So the idea was that they're going to this, simpler, more innocent time before all the violence and before all the hatred and the bigotry and a lot of the things that we see in life. And the idea, philosophically, is that us humans, we all long to go back to where we came from. And of course we got Eden because from the Garden of Eden, from the Bible was the idea, and of course the Hebrew text. So it has a lot of action in it, but a lot of supernatural kind of stuff. But it's also kind of quite an emotional book.
Now, are you the main character, or is it the main character is based off you? Because that looks awfully a lot.
Yes,
like
that
you.
is me. I am. I would say that me and my wife Corey are main characters, but the other band members are also very much support. They're in the book a lot, but we don't know them when the book starts.
Okay.
So we meet them as we go. So there's really cool interplay between the band members. There's a lot of heart into it. And it's just it's a beautifully drawn book, and the coloring is really nice.
Speaking about that part of the book, how did you get hooked up with the art team?
Yeah, it was really cool. It was great for like a comic nerd to find out how the books are made. Like for
They
instance,
just don't appear.
I think of it and it appears. It's like the Matrix. No, it was really cool because, for instance, I didn't realize that there's a separate colorist to the artwork, things like that, and then I didn't realize that they put the text on after it's colored. Finding the artist was really cool because they say, "What kind of artwork do you like?" And I said, "Well, here's some books that I really love. There's some artists." And then they sent me 5 or 6 artists with their. I get to go online and look at their gallery and choose who I think represents my ideas the best. It's hard to explain, but you want the art to have the feeling of the story, and that was brand new for me.
That's totally. I totally get where you're coming from. And how did you get hooked up with Z2?
They called me, and I don't know exactly, but if anybody follows me on social media for more than a month,
Give that out.
yes, John L. Cooper on Instagram. John L. Cooper is me, or you follow Skillet Music.
Okay.
You'll see stuff about comics because I talk about my love for Marvel comics and Batman and all sorts of nerd stuff, WWE wrestling, all the things that I love.
Everything that you can find here.
Everything you can find at Comic-Con, you'll see it on. And I think that they realize my love for comics and they approached and said, "Have you thought about it?" I said, "Yeah, I've got an idea for a story I'd love to do."
So how have the other band members? Did you talk to them?
Yeah.
I'm going to put you in a story.
Yeah, you're in the story.
Yeah.
Hope you like yourself. You die in it. No, I'm kidding. My wife, Corey, who is also in the band, she was all about it because she kind of has a love for comics because of my love, and my son. We have a son that loves comics as much as me. So because of all that, she was very into it. And then the band members were like, "Cool, what's it going to be like?" And so they've also been able to go through the process. When I get book one, I read to them, "Check it out, this is what it's going to be."
A group reading.
Yeah, it is, because I'm so excited about it. So it was really cool to be able to write the story, then give it to writers for them to actually flesh out, which is pretty amazing. It's pretty hard to do.
Yeah. So I know you have a signing coming up this afternoon.
Yeah.
Anything else that plan to promote the book, or anything coming up with the band that you'd can talk about?
Well, nothing necessarily coming up. I should actually plug, in the beginning of the book, there's a QR code for a free song. So anybody that buys the book, first page, don't forget the QR code. A lot of people keep forgetting there's a free song on there. It's a song that we wrote for the book. It's called "Dreaming of Eden." And that is on there. We just released like a mini short video for the song with the art from the book. Other than that, we're going to be doing some signings through America. We're going to be releasing the book in Russia, which is really cool. And I can't wait to get one, with all the cool writing on it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Cyrillic is what it's called. So there you go.
So are you reading anything currently that you're enjoying, or would suggest, or or do you have time to read?
Yeah, I just got into the new Hulk series.
The Immortal Hulk.
Immortal Hulk. I was about to say it's kind of horror-ish.
Every time I see it, I think the Immoral Hulk.
The Immoral, yeah, he is immoral as well. Yeah, the Immortal Hulk is what it's called, which is kind of it's got a horror leaning to it, which I think is really cool. They got like all the monsters. Yeah. To me, it reminds me of like a mix between Hulk and Godzilla or something, and it's very cool.
Okay, so check that out if you're not reading it. Why aren't you not?
That's right, you should. It's not as good as Eden, but it's okay.
And so, how can people get a hold of your the graphic novel?
Probably the easiest place to get the graphic novel is going to be Amazon.
Okay.
It's still not in bookstores that much. I found it in one comic shop in New York, and I don't know if it's in other ones yet. But if you want it like tomorrow, go on Amazon and just hit Eden Skillet, and you'll see it.
All right. Well, thank you. I mean, unless there's anything else you'd like to say about the book, or
no, I feel pretty good about that.
Oh, good. Well,
thanks for watching.
I guess if you're going to have time to walk around the con before you go to your signing.
Yep. Take a look around.
Just, feel free to bump people.
Yeah, push people around.
Yeah. It's like a giant mosh pit.
It is kind of like that, actually.
All right. Well, it's nice to meet you, and good luck with the book. And
thank you.
Let us know if you ever, are doing a second one, or if you just want to talk more about it. That'd be great.
You got it.
All right. Well, thank
Rock
you.
it. Later.